Death End Request Code Z came out just a few small months ago on consoles, but did you know it's also coming to Steam? Idea Factory was nice enough to get me a code to try it out, and I borrowed the other PC in my house to give it a go. So here are some initial thoughts from the start of the Steam version about how it felt to play on desktop and what it was like to revisit this fascinating glitched up world. I don't often play games on Steam, but I've had jealousy when I've watched my boyfriend play things like Res Lariana in much higher resolution, which gave me the curiosity to see how Death End Request Code Z ran when the opportunity came along. It took me a little to figure out setup as an amateur PC player, and I spent my first half hour playing mouse and keyboard in Code Z. This actually wasn't the worst, as since it's half roguelike, half visual novel, as long as the game has a good D-pad and attack button mapping, you're pretty good to go, and Code Z's was pretty simple to do with buttons placed in a near and therefore easy to remember way. I'm sure it would be easier if you're more used to keyboard controls, but even for me, I got used to the setup pretty quick and would consider it more than playable that way, although once I got my controller all set up, I felt most at home as someone who usually plays on consoles, and this is where I had the most fun with the new Steam version. When comfortable, I can enjoy what might be the benefits of playing on PC versus my PS5. While no official upgrades have been announced, I felt some of the visuals may be sharper in its backgrounds and illustrations, especially on the chapter screen. As for gameplay moments, because of the chibi roguelike and semi-turn-based nature of things, considering each movement is a turn, it's hard to feel a huge improvement like maybe you would in something like an action game. But I did at least think that I saw some extra sharpness that could be fun if you like to play from a different camera angle than I do, where you can appreciate the character models and improvement in textures. Once I got my footage into my editor, I could actually compare and see textures that little bit more detailed and better lit in the Steam version, making it not only look better, but easy to see if an item is blue or green that can be super critical when you need that ether code to fix up your sanity. I wonder if these would maybe be visible on the PS5 Pro since I have the regular one, but I was happy to see it look even better on Steam, and whether you choose to use its full Xbox and PlayStation controller support or to mouse and keyboard it up, the controls are intuitive either way, making the Steam version worth it for the highest quality of Death End Request Code Z possible. Well, it's actually only been a couple of months in a game since I finished my first Death End Request Code Z playthrough on PS5, returning to it still had that slight sheen of nostalgia that returning to a game you finished should have. I know it's more foreshadowing now that I've finished the main story that must have tied in well, as I didn't notice it at all in my first playthrough, and was only reminded how I would love to replay the first one to clarify the story even more, although it's still easy to love Sayaka and the new glitch crew. Also, since this was my second playthrough, I tried to at least make things a little more challenging by choosing a higher difficulty, even if the difference is only so noticeable in its prologue chapter. Once I got a few floors into the first proper dungeon, I noticed I could actually be taken out by about 2 hits, which is definitely less than before, so I could see this kind of challenge bringing more death ends, which might just strike the balance of living, death ending, and filling out the death end skill tree if you're trying to be powerful and also see as many story events as possible as you play. Since save data isn't transferable, I'll be continuing on my PS5 with the post-game as it took 60 hours to get to it, but this Steam version will have me thinking about whether upgrading my PS5 or getting a PC in my house for myself someday to see games like these in their best forms is worth it. In the end, for the Steam version of Code Z though, I can say this new Steam version is one of the highest quality ways to play it, and certainly isn't a bad way to play an already great game that's dark story in a degraded world with plenty of lore for the Death End Request fans still remain a good game to play wherever you can get it as we wait for Death End Request 3. Thank you for watching this video. Let me know in the comments below if you'll be picking out Death End Request Code Z for Steam, and if you've played it, what do you think of it? You can like and share this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe to my channel for more JRPG content like this, and ring that bell to get notifications on whatever I post so you don't miss a thing. You can check out more videos here, and you can find me on social media on X, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, all at JRPG Jungle. Links to those will be in the description below. Thank you to Idea Factory for the code, and until next time, thank you, bye!